Listen, I get it. I see you. You want the best for your kids, and you want to be the best for your kids. You want to be a powerful businesswoman and a change maker. You want to be a fun mom, a great wife or partner, a present friend, a community contributor, a great earner, creatively fulfilled, totally productive, vibrantly healthy, and a good daughter and sister. Oh yeah, and you could use a little time and space for yourself. I see you because I am you. I want all of these things too. But the thing is, the way we treat motherhood and entrepreneurship these days, we've got the deck stacked against us. We could be doing things to be healthier, happier, more loving, more spiritual, more nurturing, sexier, more productive, more wealthy, more balanced, more of service, more powerful, and more successful every minute of every day. We have access to a ridiculous amount of information. According to Fast Company, every man, woman, and child in the United States has access to 16 hard drives full of information a day. Holy mother, that's a lot of data. No wonder so many entrepreneurial moms are freaking overwhelmed with all the options and stuck in massive comparaitis. Now we know about the green smoothies we're not making, the meditations we're not doing, the list building strategies we're not trying, the productivity hacks we're not implementing, the workouts we're not fitting in, the amazing sex we could be having, but we aren't, the conferences we're not going to, the deep breaths we're not taking, and the beautiful, organized home that we don't live in. In some ways, our foremothers had it easier. From the perspective of information, these women simply had less of it. Less access to information and less suggestions about how you should be running your business or being a mother and a woman means less pressure. I mean, if you don't know that crafting with your toddlers is even a thing, then you can't beat yourself up for not doing it. In order to make it in their careers, on the other hand, our mothers had to act like stereotypical men. They had to disconnect from their emotions, hide any vulnerability, learn to be aggressive, completely separate their work life from their home life, and rely on logic, intellect, competition, and striving and pushing to make it. More was better. More hours, more striving, more responsibility, more competing, more projects, more status. They had something to prove, and they were doing it. My mom told me that many of her chief residents, fellow physicians, and other colleagues all throughout her early career didn't even know that she had kids because she was so good at being one of the guys. Our mothers were the battering rams, changing the status of women globally. They wore the shoulder pads and busted through doors so that you and I can have the choices and possibilities that we currently enjoy. Though they can be paralyzing at times, we're still grateful for them. It's not like that anymore, ladies. There used to be a very clear separation between work and home life. The whole idea of work-life balance assumes that they're two distinct things to begin with. But now we live in a very different time. We can give a deep bow to our mothers and the women who came before us for the paths they paved that we now walk. And we can and need to walk these paths differently than they did, because the world is different today. We have the internet, and for better or for worse, can find out about nearly anything and connect globally in an instant. We have social media and can grow an audience and launch a business in our yoga pants at our kitchen counter. We have the ability to design businesses that support our lives and lives that support our businesses. But we still often operate as though we're in a mad dash competition to the top of the ladder. We're in a hurry, we strive to stay relevant, we fear if we take a break or go slowly that we won't matter, that it won't work, that we'll never make the kind of money or impact we want to make. We operate as though there's not enough to go around. But there's a part of us, a wiser, more still part, that knows there's a better way. She's suspected it for a long time, in fact, but she doesn't know where to start because she's not had the role models showing her the way. Here's the thing, you and I want to have more, but we don't want to do more. You've been doing more your whole life and it's worked out in some ways, but there's fallout. You're so freaking tired. You feel like you're constantly falling short. You feel guilty when you're working and not spending time with your kids. You feel distracted when you're with your kids because you're thinking about your business. You wonder if instead of sitting in the TV with your toddler reading stories, you should be working on sales copy. You try to work and be with your kids at the same time, and you end up not doing either one particularly well. Being a mom and running a business is already tiring enough. We really don't need anything else on our plates. Am I right? The only way to get ahead as a working mom used to be to sacrifice your own well-being, try your best to be a man, draw a very clear boundary between your work and your life, separate from your heart, put your head down, put in more hours, and push. The motto was, if it's not working, do it harder. If you keep running your business like that, though, you'll burn out. You'll get sick. You'll be even more exhausted than being a mother inherently makes you already. Your relationship with your kids and your partner and your friends and family will suffer. You'll feel isolated and you won't like yourself very much. And all you'll have to show for yourself is more hours logged at your laptop. You might have some phenomenal business results, but at what price? There's another way, and here's what it looks like. Slowing down. Setting clear boundaries around your time so that you can carve out space for what really matters. Working each week for the amount of time that feels good to you, not for the amount of time your mom worked or thinks you should work, or that the other moms seem to be working, or that you assume the moms that you follow on the internet but don't actually know are working. Taking care of yourself as a top priority. That might mean taking a deep breath before you rush into your crying baby's room in the middle of the night, or it might mean a day at the spa. Integrating your life with your livelihood. Pumping or nursing while you're on a conference call. Being okay with occasionally working on a Saturday night when you feel inspired so that on a Tuesday afternoon you can be there when your kid comes home from school to play in the leaves. Incorporating a play date with a business meeting. Asking people you work with about their kids and actually caring. Knowing that there's more than enough to go around, that you're at the perfect place, at the perfect time, and that for this particular season of your life, you're doing so great. There will be planting seasons, fallow seasons, growing seasons, and harvest seasons. And when you honor the season you're in, the pressure falls away and you can celebrate all the things that are working and that you're doing beautifully instead of focusing on all of the things you're trying to do but falling short of because they're not appropriate for this particular season. We live in a new era and it's time we fully embrace it. If we don't, we're wasting the very gifts and resources we're so blessed to have access to. This is a time where we can integrate our lives with our livelihood. This is a time where we get to make the rules. This is a time where we get to choose. You get to choose how you run your business. You get to choose what kind of mother you are. You get to choose the kind of woman you want to be. The most powerful choices do not come from choosing more. Your power lies in choosing less, in fact. How do I know this? I know because I've lived it. 2 years ago, my husband Mike and I spontaneously decided we were ready to make a baby. So we did. I have never felt so exhausted as I did while pregnant. My friends told me to wait until the second trimester when they'd had such an energy surge that they wrote like 5 book proposals and laid out their 50-year plan while also renovating their homes. I did not have any energy surges after 13 weeks. I just felt tired and more tired. And then more tired. I think I napped pretty much through my entire pregnancy. I went from working over 50 hours a week to occasionally putting in a full 20 hours. Then, when Penelope came, I took the first 3 months completely off and then only had childcare about 10 hours a week until she was 9 months old. And I worked less than those 10 hours because I was mostly nursing her still, and I was also trying to fit in a little self-care. My husband Mike largely took the first 3 months off too, and while he worked more than I did, he didn't go back to his pre-baby 50-hour work week either. When P was 9 months old, she started daycare 3.5 days a week. We're still on that program and it's working great. Here's the part that's amazing. We met with our accountant a couple weeks ago. This year of adjusting to being a mother, navigating the postpartum roller coaster, and dealing with some health challenges that Penelope has had has been, in a word, hard. My priorities have been keeping it together emotionally, getting whatever sleep I can find, and keeping my baby as happy and healthy as possible. Growing our business was simply not my focus from March 2015 until quite recently. When our accountant showed us our revenue so far this year, I was shocked. Our numbers were ahead of where they'd been in 2015. And in 2015, our business actually remained steady compared to 2014, despite my having napped for nearly the entire year. Wow. So despite doing significantly less than I'd ever done in my adult life as an entrepreneur, our business was actually staying steady and actually growing. I'd been working about half the amount I'd worked previously, and even less if you count the first 9 months of motherhood, and yet revenue was strong. Our list was strong. Our business was strong, despite me doing less. On the car ride home, I thought to myself, if we've gotten these kind of results by doing less without meaning to, what might happen if we did less on purpose? What if this became a strategy for growing our business and enjoying our life? And what the heck was I doing during all of those hours I used to put in? Clearly, I was spending a ton of time and energy on things that weren't leading to results. So, Mike and I have made it a priority to look at how we can do less and yet achieve and enjoy more, and I want you to join us. You've suspected that the way to have more is not to do more, that instead, it's to do less. And it's time to put that theory to the test. I need this like you need this, so let's do it together. I've created something called the Do Less Experiment. It starts January 19th, it's free, and you can get on the waitlist at dolessexperiment.com. We live in a very intense time, and there's so much to be done to serve the world. But the world does not need us frazzled and exhausted. The world needs us fulfilled and calm. It's from this place of enough that we have the freedom to be of greatest service. If we want to have more, we have to stop running around trying to do and have it all. We must stop and do less. Because when we do less, we create the space to have more of what really matters for ourselves and the entire world. A woman running in a million directions feeling like she's falling short is not a powerful woman. A woman doing less so that she can place her sacred focus on what truly matters is a woman in her power. Let's be that kind of woman together.